Hey everyone, it's Amira Fuller here, bringing you our Identity 101 series, and I'm glad to be back with you today. Heads up, if you have not watched my previous videos, do make sure that you go back because it's a progression to what today's video is going to be about. Now, last week I briefly released a video on my Instagram just touching on what is a woman, who is a female, and today we're going to be touching on the priority of a woman. And this is essential because when you understand what your priority is, you will know what you should be doing in your day-to-day life. And so today I'm going to be going into a bit of detail so that you can make sure you live a life of productivity and fruitfulness. So, what is a priority? Let's go and define this. A priority is the fact or condition of being regarded or treated as more important than others. And so we have to begin to assess in our lives as women, what have we treated or regarded as a high importance, which according to God may not actually be. Some of us may prioritize our fashion sense, our beauty, our money, the latest trainers and different things that aren't actually called priorities according to the purpose for which we are here. So, what has God said a woman's priority should be? One thing I want us to understand is that the purpose of a thing determines the priority that we should take. And so when you don't understand your purpose, you will find yourself probably dabbling into different things and not seeing as much results as you could be. So what this video is going to do is to help us to understand as women our priority so we can start seeing fruits in our lives. And that's what today is all about. It's about understanding our priorities so that we can live to the maximum and experience the greatness that God has for us. Here are some principles that I'm about to share with you that I'd like for you to note, okay? So, number one is your purpose determines your priority. Number two, your design and makeup determines what you should prioritize. Now, your purpose should bring you to a state of order, productivity, and fruitfulness. This is the power of purpose because it keeps you busy, it keeps you productive, it keeps you fruitful, and allows you to actually impact many lives, and you will be fulfilled. That's why it's important for you to know the core priority of your existence so that you can live a life of fruitfulness. Now, some things I would like for you to all think about is, what do you consider a priority in your life? And use this moment right now just to really reflect. What have you considered? What do you prioritize? And one way for you to understand and know what you prioritize is by looking at the amount of time that you dedicate to a particular thing. If you spend a lot of your time on social media scrolling 8 hours a day, you have made that a priority. And a lot of us don't realize that we have inadvertently made certain things a priority and don't realize how much time it's taking away from us being fruitful as women. Okay, so that's one thing I want you to consider. Now, the second point I want you to think about is what should be considered a priority in your life. Think about the perspective and the outlook. What are you basing it on? Who are you basing it on? Again, pause the video to really get your thoughts together and think about what you should consider as a priority. And look at your source. Is that source a credible source? Is that source a viable source for you to say, this is what I'm going to base my life on. This is what I'm going to base my priorities on. In this video, I'm hoping to help you find that perspective so that you can start being a lot more productive in your day-to-day life. So we're going to look at why you were created and why you are designed the way you are. Women were designed to receive the love of God. We were formatted in a way that could allow us to relate and connect with our source, which is God. So we have to then consider, what is the reason for our fellowship with God? Why did God want to extend His love to me? God never creates anything without establishing its purpose first. And so when you were created, you were not just an idea that was, formed randomly and not knowing what this person or thing was created for. God created you after He knew your function and your reason and your use. So that's why it's important for you to understand your function, your purpose, your reason and your use so that you can live a life that is aligned with why God has created you. One thing I want to elaborate on as it relates to women being created to receive the love of God is that God is love. That's what it says in 1 John chapter 4, that God is love and love needs a receiver. So when women were created, we were created to receive the love of God. for a particular reason. Number one, God wanted to make someone of his kind that could receive the love the way that he wanted them to receive it, and also to give it back. Now, God made the stars, he made the moon, he made the earth, but he couldn't give them a love that he could receive back in the way that he wanted to. So he made women and men in his likeness and his image so that they could receive the love of God the way that he wanted them to, and also to fellowship with him in a way that he could respond to them. And so women, you were designed to communicate with God. You and God were designed to be together. And that's why it's important that the first priority that a woman has is her relationship with God. You were created from the essence of God. You were created by the Spirit of God. And so that's why if you look in my previous videos, human is the word divided into two, which is humus and man. Humus in Hebrew is the word dirt, and man in Hebrew is the word spirit. So you can see that by your nature and by your very design, there is a part of you that needs God. And that channel, that spirit that you have, that is created and designed to connect with God, is essential for your purpose here on earth. Okay, so I hope you understand and see the value and the importance of why having a relationship with God is essential, and that's your first priority. Your first priority is to have a relationship with God, because he is the one that has established your purpose, and it's through him you can live this life on earth productive and fruitful. Number two, not only were women created just to communicate with God, we can see that in the creation story that women, we were formed from the flesh of the male man. When God saw that it was not good for man to be alone, God created a person, God created a helper, which was us as women. We were created from the very flesh of the male man. And very similar to how God designed us to receive love from him, likewise God created us and formed us from the male man so that we could have a counterpart that we could connect and relate to. Now, God does not just create anything without us having the very thing that that person needs in order to work and to have the chemistry. So God created us from the very essence of a male man in order to fulfill a particular mandate that God had for male and female. And that's why it's important for you to understand your relationship with men in general, because there is a unique role that we play in every male's life. Now, suitable help does not just solely mean husband. Suitable help could be in the form of a sister, a mother, a business partner, a friend. And that's why it's important for you as women to know that your multifaceted design is so that you can be adaptable to the purposes that God has for you when it relates to the male species as well, and for your own individual purpose. Suitable can also be the word fit, and the word fit can also be the word adapt. We were created to be a suit for our male species. We were created and designed to be good, and everything that the male needed, he placed in the woman. So we were to be that help, we are to be that support, we are to be that love, we are supposed to be that enhancer. Okay, so that's why it's very important for you to understand your role in a male's life. Not every male is your husband. Not every male that you're called to help means that he is the one. You have to understand that you have a particular role in a male's life, depending on who God has placed in your life to help. One thing I want to add to that is that when something is created for something else, it has within it that which the other thing needs. And women, you were that thing that a man needed, okay? God saw fit to create the woman for the man's need, for the man's good. So that means we as women were designed for the man's good, as much as we were designed to fulfill the mandate that God had for mankind. So as we stated so far, a relationship with God is our number one priority. Also, understanding our role in a male's life is another priority that we need to begin to understand. And another priority that we must have as women is to understand the mandate that God had for mankind. That is our priority. We must understand our placement. We must understand our role. We must understand how we fit. And with that fit, there is a physical order that we are to follow as it relates to this plan and purpose. So we know that God is the head of Christ, Christ is the head of the man, and the man is the head of the woman. This is the order that we are to follow as it relates to our mandate here on earth, in relation to the male and the female. Now, usually this is in the context of marriage as it relates to the man being the head of the woman. So I'm not saying that if you're single, you have to find a man to submit under, no. But what I do believe is that we should have accountability and be submitted under leadership as it relates to our walk with God in general. So I've stated our 3 priorities as women so far, and just to emphasize again our number 1 priority, a woman is built to have a relationship and to communicate with God. With this, you are able to live out God's cosmic plan for your life. And to build on that, as a woman, you realize that you are multifaceted. You can do literally anything. You can do construction if you wanted to. You are a good administrator. You are probably a singer. You are a great organizer. You are an incubator. You are a germinator. You expand things. You enhance things. You realize that you are multifaceted. And as we stated, suitable help also means that you are a fit. It also means that you are adaptable. And an analogy I'd like to give to you is like a plant. When a plant is placed in an environment, it adapts to the environment. It changes based on the environment. And that's why you have to be also careful with where you are placed as a woman. You have to be careful about who you are allowing and what you are allowing to influence you. Because us as women, you can see that we are able to take on a lot because that's our design. That's our nature. We are built to adapt. And that's why a lot of women, you'll find them being in different relationships. They can go to different relationships and they can adapt to the man that they are with. They were designed to adapt to the vision of a man. They were designed to adapt to an environment. They were designed to adapt to the mandate of God, regardless of whatever form it takes. Women, you are so unique, which means you have to be very careful about what you allow and what you don't allow, okay? You have to be aware of your delicate design. And that means you have to know what you are designed for, because where purpose is not known, abuse is inevitable. So here's some advice I want to leave with you women, is that you need to find a vision that you can help. Find a vision that you can support, whether that be in church, whether that be a friend, whether that be a business partner, whether that be your brother, whether that be your spouse. Find a vision. And I'm not saying that without a man you can't have a vision. You still have your own individual role as a woman to fulfill the mandate that God has for mankind on this earth. But until you find that vision, find a place where you can serve, find a place where you can enhance those skills, build some more transferable skills that when it comes to the direct purpose for your life, you now have had the experience, you've now been able to enhance and grow in those areas. And just to add, a woman can have her own purpose, as I mentioned. She can have her own plan, but that does not take away from your design, that you were designed to be a suitable help for the male man as well. You were designed to have a relationship with God. You were designed to be a helper to the male man. You were designed to fulfill the mandate that God has for your life. And you were designed to walk powerfully and to be fruitful in everything that you do. But you have to understand your purpose as a woman so that you can be fruitful as a woman in the way that God designed. And God is the only one that can give you your purpose. God is the only one that can tell you how you are to function as a woman. So I hope that through this video, you have found some practical steps that can help you to be very fruitful and productive in your walk in this life. And if you don't believe in God, I encourage you to seek Him, because He is the one that has designed you. He knows how you are to function. When you feel like you're not receiving the love that you want, it's because there is a part of you, which is your spirit, that needs the communion of God, that needs the relationship with God. And I'd say that is your biggest priority, because when you have God, you have everything else. So if there's anything I'm going to leave with, that is to seek God in the name of Jesus Christ and know that your purpose is found in Him. I look forward to seeing you all in my next video. I hope you could find some nuggets in this video that can advance you and take you to another level. With that being said, take care guys, and goodbye.